All of you, hope you guys are great. So welcome back once again to this complete real estate dApp project. In the last video we have completed our entire smart contract. So if you haven't watched that, I'll link in the I button on the description so you guys can follow that, and tons of learning is coming from all of you guys if you are really interested in Web3 development. And if you're new to my channel, hit like and subscribe. That will motivate me a lot. And do type yes, I'm excited. In this video we're going to test the entire contract we have written using the remix ID, which I already told you in the last video, so make sure to follow that as well, or you can continue it here from the testing part. So I'm going to simply copy this entire code and I will open my remix ID and I'm going to create a new file I'll call realstate.so. And that I will simply paste. Okay, so you can see right now we have no error, everything is fine, our code is successfully compiled. So you can see this is the entire code we have written. It's pretty huge. We have written close to like 200 lines of code. That's a huge contract. So let's click on this deployed and we have to deploy the contract. So this is the contract we have. So before we deploy, bring this up so we can see that our contract is getting deployed. Now click on this deploy. You can see that contract is deployed and here we have the instant of the contract. So simply bring it up. Here you will have all the function we have declared. So if I bring this down, okay, now looks pretty good. You can see all of the function you will find here which we have in the smart contract. So that looks pretty good. Now the very first thing we have to do is we have to check this particular function list property, because on the base of this we have to check other properties. Okay, so first we have to list the property, then we can retrieve the data, buy, update, sell, all of the things we can do it. So let's come up here. Here we have this function called list property, and in that we have to pass all of this data, all of these inputs. So we have to pass the address of the user who's creating this, listing this property. So I will simply scroll up here and I will grab this address, my address, and I will paste here. Then I have to give the price. You can type whatever you want, but you have to keep one thing in mind, that the price you will provide, it will be in terms of way. So if you want to provide the price in terms of ether, you have to add 18.0, okay, which I will tell you extensively. Just go with a simple approach. So we'll give the price to 5 and we'll type the property title is going to be Hey Daulat. You can subscribe my channel and here we have to give the category. So I'll give the category to, let's say, we'll type this housing and we'll give this call. What is we have? Let's take the image, because right now we are taking the, like, we are having a functionality where we can pass the URL of the image, or I have decided to pass the image URL, or we can do one thing, we can use the Pinata as a Web3 provider to connect to with the IPFS, and we can upload the data to the IPFS as well. But for the time being, let's go with a simple approach. Okay, so I will simply type this pixel away, and from here I will get the image. Click on this and let me grab this image, copy the image, come here, paste the URL, and looks fine. So okay, I have 26% battery, not a problem. So simply grab this one and that's what we're going to pass here as a string. Now we have to give the address. So we'll say hey for your address. Let me check the spelling, your, and here we're going to provide the description. You can type whatever you want. So let me type this, hey my property. That looks good. All of the data we have provided. Now let's click on this transaction and you can see the transaction went through and we have successfully listed our first property into a smart contract. We have no bug into the contract. So what we can do is, that looks pretty fine, and now let's create one more property. So let me change this to 7. Let me change the text, the title, and let me change this one and cut and paste here and the transaction. So right now we have declared 2 properties, created 2 property into other contract. Now close this one and now let's come up here. And if you click on this review counter, you can see we have 0 review because we haven't created any review into our contract in any properties. If you come to the property index, we have 2 property, and that's why you can see the index is 2. We have created 2 property and we have 2 indexes, and that looks pretty fine to me also. Everything's working so far good. And here we have this one, get all properties. If you click on that, it will give you all the properties we have in the contract. So if you click on that, here you can see we have all of this data. We have the UNT name and everything's looking fine. Okay, don't need to worry about the 0 address, just focus on this one. Okay, we have all of this property. Now what I can do is, if I want to find the individual property, I can do it very easily. So this is the function we have, this is the function we have. So let me do one thing. This is the function we have, get user property. So if I want to buy, if you want to find the user who listed all the property in a particular marketplace, we can simply grab this address and we can simply paste here. So this will give us the address, the property is the user has listed. So simply paste the address here and call the function, and you can see this is the two property this particular user account has listed in the marketplace. Looks good to me. And this is the index we have 1. This is the first property and its index is 1. So if I grab this one and if I come here, and where is the another one? Okay, so you will find somewhere here. Okay, so that's the one index and two index we have. So if I paste this index 1, it will give me the entire data of that individual property. You can see we have the index value, we have the address, we have the price, we have the name, title, category, image, the addresses and the descriptions. Everything is working fine. You can see this is the index 1, and this is, if I provide the index 2, it's going to give me the second property. So let me type this index 0. You can see, right, sorry, my bad, the index is starting from 0. Okay, remember we have initialized no value to our property index, so it will start from 0 and it will go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the first property will have the 0 index, the second property will have 1 index. So you can see on the 0 index we have this first property we have listed, and this looks fine. All of the data we have assigned, that looks fine to me. Everything is looking good. Now what we can do is, here we are, so this is the second index we have. Now if I bring this down, we have done with this product, and now we have this update property. So let's try to update the property. So what we can do, come up here and let me find the functionality. So this is the function we have, update property. Okay, we have this one, update pricing. In that we have to pass 3 data, owner, product ID and the price. Okay, so let's come up here and let me try to get the one product. Okay, so this is the product, this is the property we're going to update. So you can see the index is 1 and the price is 7. So I want to change the price. Okay, this is the one I want to change it. So if I come up here, so this is the function I have to call. I have to provide the address. So let me type the index value, which is a 1. Okay, that's 1, and I want to change the price of this particular property. So I'll provide the address. So let me come up here and grab this address and paste here. We have to provide the product ID, which is a 1, and we have to provide the updated price. So right now it's 7, I have to give, let's say, 15. If I click on this transaction, the transaction went through, and if I call this function again, get property, it will see the data is updated. We have the pricing to 15. Okay, so means our update pricing is also working fine. So we can easily update the property pricing, and now we have to update the data. So let me come up here. Now come up here, and here we have to update the property details. So we have to provide the address, so we can check that the person is trying to update the property, he is the owner or not. Then we have to provide the ID, so ID is 1, and we have to update the data. Okay, so we have to provide the title. So let me come up here, and if I come up here, this is the one we are updating. We are updating pro titles, category, image, address and descriptions. Only these 5 data we are updating. Okay, but we are taking the property ID and the address as well. Okay, so these are the 2 mandatory for identifying the property and checking the ownership. After that, these data is for the property update. So let me provide this web by. Category is going to be, let's say, life style. You can type whatever you want, and here we have the image. I'm going to take the same URL and I'm going to paste here. We have to give this time bomb, and this will become the life is bomb. You can type whatever you want. So that looks pretty good. Now we have to change. Let me call this function transaction. You can see if I come up here, you can see that this is the property which we have changed all the data. Now if I call this function, you will see that all this data is updated. Means our update function is also working fine. All the logic is looking absolutely incredible. So we have checked the listed property, update pricing, update property, and now we have to check this one called buy one. So let me close this one and close this one. We have also checked this get all property. We have checked that one, and we have also checked this one get single property. So this all function is looking fine. Get user property we have also checked. Okay, all of this function we have checked. Get user property. Okay, now we have to work on the buy property functionality. One thing you have to keep in your mind that when we are making this transaction, when we are allowing user to buy the property, we are not taking any cut, we are not taking any commission. Okay, we are allowing to simply buy the property, and the entire fund will be transmitted to their wallet address. So that's the logic we have built. So that looks pretty good to me. Now looks fine. Come up here, and we have to provide the ID of the product and the user who are interested in buying the product. So let's come up here, and we have to come, let's find the function we have in the contract. So let me grab this one, address, because we have used the first account to create the listing. Now we're going to use the second account to buy the property. So let me change that, grab the address, and we can come up here. So you can see 15, the amount should be 15 or it should be higher, but it cannot be below 15. So that's the amount I have to provide. Come up here, and we have to call this function. So in that I have to provide the ID. So ID is going to be the 1, and this is the address, and the value I have to provide is 15. Why should I pay extra? So that's the price. And now I will click on this transaction. You can see the data, this address will change. So right now it's C4, but the owner will change. So if I click on this transaction, the transaction went through, and if I come up here, now I'm the owner. So if I click on this, the address is changed. Now the owner is CB2. This is the wallet address, is the owner of the property. So this one is looking also fine. You can see everything's working fine, and you can see this amount is the amount the account 2 is provided is transferred to the wallet 1. That's a very small donation, that's why you can't see the difference, but the amount is transferred successfully. Now let's come here, let's check the review, because we have checked all the functionality for listing, update property, update pricing, get individual properties, get property, get all properties, buy property. So we have checked all of the functions. Now we have to work on the add review. Okay, so this is the function we have, add review. Let me close all the existing functions. So let me come up here, close this one. So we are done with this. Now we're going to work on the add review one, and we're going to add the review to the product property 1. So this is the index property which we're going to add it. Simply grab the index, let me find the function. So this is the function we're going to call it. We have to provide the product ID, then the rating is going to be 4, and I will type my message to hey amazing, and let me grab the address, simply copy and paste here. So these are the 4 data we have to provide, and click on this transaction. The transaction went through, and if you come up here in the review count, right now we have 1 review in the marketplace. Okay, so this will keep the track of how many reviews we are getting in the marketplace. If you come up here and if you paste the address of the user, you will get the review. Okay, so if you click on this, get user review, and this is the review he has provided, and you can see that his review got 0 likes. So he has no like on his reviews, it's 0 like, and we're going to increment this number. Okay, so we're going to increment that. So let's come up here. This is we have get product review. So if I pass this 1, it will give me the review of the product a particular product has got. So let me click on this, and this is the review this particular product has got. So all the function is working fine, both for the user, both for the product, and we can find that one. So this one is also looking fine. Now we have to come up here, and if I call this function, right now you can see that the product 1, the index 1 product is the more popular because it has one like, one comment. Okay, that's why it giving us that one. But you can just imagine that same thing in a large scale, where we'll have a lot of products, a lot of user will get the review. So that's all we're going to store, and it will give us that index, so we can retrieve the data. So that looks also fine. Now we'll come up here, update property, we have also checked that one. We have this also trained, this is also done. Now we have this one. Okay, now we have to like the review, and here we have to provide 3 data, product ID, and we have to provide the index. So you can see the review will start from 0 index, 0 1 2 3 4. Okay, so we can come up here and we can say that let's provide the address. So we'll provide the address of the user, we'll provide the product ID, and let me provide the index value. It's going to be, let's say, 0, because that's the index of that particular first review. And if I come up here, so close this one and let me open this one. So this is the one we have, 1, and this is 0, and now I can click on this transit. So this, you can see this number will go up. If I call this transaction, you can see the transaction went through, and here we'll have the 1 like on this review. If I click, I will have 1 like, and I can give more like to this review. If you call this one, it will increase. So this logic is also working fine. Or you can do one thing, you can restrict this system where you can't allow user to like the same review over and again, but you can allow it because it's a decentralized application. Whenever they will do any changes in the state variable, you will make money. Okay, so let it be like that. Okay, we're not going to do any changes in that. So that function is also working fine. Now the user can like it and create a review and retrieve the data from the review. So everything is working absolutely fine. You can see we have checked all of this logic we have built, and that's absolutely incredible. So this looks pretty fine to me. Everything's looking wonderful. And simply grab that one, copy, and come back to the VS Code and simply paste it, because no need to paste because this is from where we have simply copied the code. So this is also looking fine. This is also looking fine. And I believe that you guys have understood every single thing we have covered so far into this contract, the way we have tested. If you are building a contract which involve the cryptocurrency and the tokens, in that context, I would highly recommend you to do the testing of your contract using Hard Mocha Chai library. Okay, that one is more accurate, and that will give you the real data, that how much it's going to charge when you will do the actual trade. So that's the only thing I want to talk about in this video. Hope you guys have liked it and you have learned that how this contract will work, and we have successfully tested this contract. Now in the next video, we're going to deploy this contract using ThirdWeb to the Polygon test network. So don't forget to watch that video, because that's going to be a very important concept. We're going to do some couple of important configuration in our project to deploy our code. Okay, so let's move to that.